Hey, this is Politics with Laura, and I got a good one for you today. Okay, there's a lot going on. A lot going on. I want to talk about Queen Elizabeth's death and King Charles, Prince Charles, now King Charles, the passing of the baton, or shall I say the scepter. Okay, this is a mess. This is a complete mess. Lady Diana, about 30 years ago, said that Prince Charles was not fit to be a king. She said that out of her own mouth 30 years ago. Now, 30 years later, he's king. And now people are questioning, do they want to be under his leadership? I don't know. I mean, I for me, I just don't see where they're relevant. What what do they serve? I mean, I could see 1300s, 1400s, 1500s, 1600s, maybe even mid 1800s. But now we are in the information age, digital age. What do they do? They don't pay taxes. They get an allowance from the people. What do they serve? They have a parliament. They have a working government. I just don't see what they do besides, in my opinion, my humble opinion, um, make other people wonder why, let it go. Let the Commonwealth go. If you look at the lands or the countries that you reign over, look at the state of them. I mean, you got Jamaica. Look at Jamaica. Look at Barbados. What have you done for those countries besides take their money and resources? Not a doggone thing. Look at Africa. You have plundered Africa to the point of non existence. What have you done to make Africa vibrant? Not a doggone thing. Only two places that I see: Singapore, you invested there. You invested in Australia. So why are you needed? To me, I just don't see the relevance of them. I just don't see it. If they're relevant, please help me understand. Help me understand how the countries in Africa that are colonized, or not colonized. Let me not say colonized. That's too brutal. Even though what they're still doing is brutal. By the African countries that are under King Charles kingdom, how do they benefit? Please put anything down in the comment section, because I just don't see it. I see that that whether if you want to accept it or not, it only okay, when Prince Charles was down there shaking hands with people. Now, and I'll show the picture of it. I mean, I'll show the clip of it, to where was he shook the other woman's hand, saw the man, turned his head, walked, came back, looked at the person, the Caucasian person, and then the black guy had to. I mean, he just, poor guy. He wasn't reading the room. He just didn't read it. He wanted to make sure that King Charles saw him. Now, I didn't see many black people there, and I get it. I get it. Now, you may say, oh, politics with Laura, you're a racist. Please stop it. Stop it. Me saying what is true is me being a racist, bigot. Oh, this is the best one. You're race baiting. Well, then stop baiting the race. Just silly, just silly. So, okay, I have an article here. And well, there's one from South Africa that I want to check out. I want to see how they're going to go with this. But here it says, with the ceremony over, King Charles faces big tasks. Yeah, are you relevant? No. The royal family faces the question whether it is still relevant in a modern multicultural nation that looks very different and I'm sorry, not and different than it did when Queen Elizabeth ascended the throne. Um, no. What do they do? Several videos ago, when Prince Andrew got caught up in that Mex tape, changed the M to an S, a scandal. What does he do? What is his job description besides going around listening to people's problems, shaking their hand, and doing nothing about it? They serve no. They have no use. They take your money. They don't pay taxes, and when Queen Elizabeth was asked to pay taxes to get England out of trouble, did she? No. Cut them off, take your money, and send them down to unemployment now to get some skills besides shaking hands and still showing the little bit of prejudice or whatever you want to call it. To me, it only just gave what Meghan Markle was saying. I mean, look, any and everyone of color that has dealt with prejudice and racism up close and personal, they don't need to go and okay, let me backtrack. Some things is just known. You feel it in the room. You feel the vibes. Now, if you are benefiting from the system, you're only going to disagree. Oh, that's not true. You're race baiting. That's because you're benefiting from the system. And those people who are black are saying, well, you're just please, you're benefiting from the system. You are the token today. Tomorrow, you'll be back down with everybody else. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. Let me see. What does South Africa say? Wait a minute. You can't make this stuff up. You just can't. Wait a minute. Africa, you got treated badly. For the funeral, Joe Biden and other people were brought in town cars. What did they do with the Africans? They put them on a bus. I'm not laughing. I'm laughing because I don't expect any more than this. And then people act surprised, like, well, they did that. Look at the countries and how they treat the countries that are under the kingdomship. Go to Africa and see how it's run. They just take resources out of those countries, but they do nothing to uplift the people. And then when Queen Elizabeth dies and King Charles is what okay. You can't make this stuff up. You just can't. So, in African news, this is down in South Africa. Why African leaders were bused at Queen Elizabeth III's funeral. Several photos have surfaced on social networks showing African heads of state, including Kenya President William Ruto and Tanzania President Samia Suluhu, were transported to the venue of Queen Elizabeth II or the second's burial at Westminster Abbey in London. While the foreign dignitaries were transported by a fleet of buses, the U.S. President Joe Biden and his wife gets out of town car were allowed to travel to the Queen Elizabeth's funeral service on Monday, September 19th, in an armored presidential limousine called the Beast. The funeral of the leaders were across the media platform, and the hashtag Queen's Funeral. It appeared many social media users were not happy about the arrangement. Oh, and then you have some tweets. I'm going to show some, but it still doesn't get to the bottom. Okay, he was in a car that had armor. Shouldn't all of the leaders have that same thing? Well, I guess the African leaders aren't important enough. Just a thought. Just a thought. But you can't make this stuff up. Now, what really got me, I was gonna show some video of how people in Jamaica were falling out crying. Just like, have you looked at your country? She is the queen of Jamaica. Have you looked at your country? And you're crying. You just can't make this stuff up. I mean, I'm just oh my goodness. I don't know. Look, some people's mind are still colonized. On that note, I just had to wait for a little bit just to see how things will fall out so I can decide what I was going to do. Was I going to make a video or not? But when I saw all that stuff, I'm just shaking my head. I'm looking at Jamaica. I'm looking at Barbados. I'm just like, you were talking about wanting your freedom. You're telling the queen that, okay, thank you. We don't need you anymore. Thank you. I don't know what England is getting out of Jamaica or out of Barbados. I mean, I know what they're getting out of Africa. They're just bleeding Africa dry. Just, and that right there's another thing, but I have no words. I really have no words. But on that note, I just wanted to do a video about King Charles. Let it go. What use is it to still have a king and a queen in this day of age? I still don't know what they do. Still don't know. I don't know. But on that note, if you think I'm totally wrong, put something down in the comment. And if you want me to live stream and then we can have a conversation about this, we can. But put it down in the comment section. Or if you think that I didn't go far enough, put something down in the comment section. On that note, I want to thank all of you. Oh, please like, subscribe, and I want to thank all of you for stopping by.